6:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lakshman Fonseca and read by Mario Vijayawardena. The headlines. The President instructs all the district secretaries to coordinate the relief work with the help of the Disaster Management Centre. A weather secretariat will be established in Sri Lanka to study weather risk situations. The police say investigations are now being carried out about the people who supported Thilini Priyamali to take money from various people. State Minister Janaka Vakkumbura says that neither the President nor the Prime Minister is hoping to delay any election. Approval has been granted for relevant private companies to import urea fertilizer required for the Maha season. In world news, the International Waste Electronic Equipment Forum says 5.3 billion mobile phones will be thrown away this year. In sports news, Namibia stunned Asia Cup champion Sri Lanka by 55 runs. President Ranil Wickremesinghe instructs all the district secretaries to coordinate relief work with the help of the Disaster Management Centre for those affected by the prevailing weather. The President also directed the officials to provide all the necessary facilities, including food and medicines, to the affected people. He has advised the officials to pay special attention to the sanitary facilities of the affected people. The President further instructed the district secretaries to work in coordination with all other relevant officials to get the support of the armed forces in this relief program. The Disaster Management Centre said 3 people have been reported dead, 5 houses have been completely damaged, and 193 partially damaged due to the prevailing weather conditions. The Director General of the Disaster Management Centre, Major General Sudhantha Ranasinghe, said the public are advised to call the hotline 117 at any emergency situation. Once again, the Director General of the Disaster Management Centre, Major General Sudhantha Ranasinghe, says the public are advised to call the hotline 117 at any emergency situation. A weather secretariat will be established in Sri Lanka to seek and study weather risk situations. This was decided in a discussion held recently at the Presidential Secretariat under the leadership of President Secretary Saman Ekanayake. The decision was taken as the island is facing vulnerability to climate change from time to time. At the meeting, it was decided to appoint the Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Ruwan Wijewardene, as the President's advisor on climate change. During this discussion, which was held with the participation of Sarah Jane Ahmed and Miniat Fabiha, both consultants of the Weather Risk Forum, the corresponding draft was presented to the President's Secretary. Discussions also focused on taking the initiative of the Ministry of Environment, identifying the potential of the irrigation, agricultural and other related fields, contributing to the National Climate Plan and their implementation. Police media spokesman SSP Nihal Talduwa says investigations are now being carried out about the people who supported Thilini Priyamali to take money from various types of people. He said the Police Criminal Investigation Department CID has uncovered many details over the issue. He said details have also been retrieved regarding several top police officers who provided protection to Thilini Priyamali. SSP Nihal Talduwa also said there are 2 senior police officers among them. Meanwhile, the police has taken a serious criminal offender into custody today as well. The police said he was engaged in serious and organized crimes and he is a culprit of 3 murders which occurred in the recent past. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. State Minister Janaka Vakkumbura says that neither the President nor the Prime Minister is hoping to delay any election. He said that prevailing election system should be revised as it has many loopholes. He added the system also open avenues for rejected politicians to enter into power and it should be stopped. The government intends to revise the election procedure and to reduce the number of representatives in the local government bodies, and it is done to fulfill the aspirations of the general public, he said. The Ministry of Agriculture says that approval has been granted for the relevant private companies to import urea fertilizers required for the Maha season. The ministry said the tender submitted for purchasing 150,000 metric tons of urea, which is required for the Maha season, was approved by the Cabinet of Ministers recently. The Minister of Agriculture, Mahinda Amaravira, said approval was given to the companies which submitted the tender. He said the required amounts of urea fertilizer for the Maha season will be received by Sri Lanka within the years 2022 and 2023.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe instructs all the district secretaries to coordinate the relief work with the help of the Disaster Management Centre for those affected by the prevailing weather. The President also directed the officials to provide all the necessary facilities, including food and medicines, to the affected people. He has advised the officials to pay special attention to the sanitary facilities of the affected people. The President further instructed the district secretaries to work in coordination with all the other relevant officials to get the support of the armed forces in this relief program. The Disaster Management Centre said 3 people have been reported dead, 5 houses have been completely damaged, and 193 partially damaged due to the prevailing weather conditions.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
And now in Watchlight, parents request the Sri Lanka Transport Board to provide constant school bus services for their school children. They said many parents are now opting to send their children to school by SLTB school bus services due to economic issues. However, parents say sometimes the SLTB depots do not send the school buses on time or stop for their services on some days. As many small school children are now going to school by the SLTB buses, providing an outstanding bus service is a must, they added.
World News, brought to you by courtesy of...
We give you the strength to rise higher and higher.
Never step back, but always march forward.
Empowering you to reach greater heights. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
In world news headlines, Xi Jinping doubles down on zero COVID as meeting opens. A major fire broke out at Iran's notorious Evin prison, housing political prisoners, journalists and foreign nationals. The International Waste Electronic Equipment Forum says 5.3 billion mobile phones will be thrown away this year. China's President Xi Jinping signaled there would be no immediate loosening of his controversial zero-COVID strategy as a historic Communist Party Congress opened in Beijing. In a break in decades-long tradition, delegates are likely to hand Mr. Xi a third term as party chief. Zero-COVID was a people's war to stop the spread of the virus, he said. The policy has saved lives, but also exacted a punishing toll on the Chinese people and the economy. There is increasing public fatigue over lockdowns and travel restrictions. Beijing has come under strict security measures ahead of the Congress, sparking frustration in the city with a rare and dramatic public protest on Thursday criticizing Mr. Xi and zero COVID. A major fire has broken out at Iran's notorious Evin prison, known for housing political prisoners, journalists and foreign nationals. Videos shared online this evening showed flames and smoke at the site in Tehran, and gunshots and explosions could be heard. An official quoted by state media said the situation was under control, but video footage appeared to show the fire continuing after this. Iran has been gripped for weeks by anti-government protests. They first erupted last month after the death of 22-year-old Kurdish Iranian Mahsa Amini in police custody. Officials said she died of a heart attack, but her family disputes this, saying she was beaten by morality police. BBC Persian's Rana Rahimpour said it is not yet known whether the situation in the prison is linked to the recent demonstrations. The International Waste, Electrical and Electronic Equipment Forum says 5.3 billion mobile phones will be thrown away this year. Its estimate based on global trade data highlights the growing environmental problem of e-waste. Researchers also suggest that many people keep old phones rather than recycling them. They said precious minerals can be extracted from waste electronics, such as the copper in wires or the cobalt in rechargeable batteries. The WEEE says its research shows the mountain of electrical and electronic waste, from washing machines and toasters to tablet computers and GPS services, will grow to 74 million tons a year by 2030. And now the main points of the world news segment once again. Xi Jinping doubles down on zero COVID as meeting opens. A major fire has broken out at Iran's notorious 7 prison, housing political prisoners, journalists and foreign nationals. The International Waste Electronic Equipment Forum says 5.3 billion mobile phones will be thrown away this year.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
Amidst all challenges, we will rally around you and advance.
In the face of hardships, let's stand strong together.
Empowering you to reach greater heights. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
In development news, tea planters say that the industry is facing tough times as the required chemicals are unavailable or too high in price. The Planters Association spokesman Dr. Roshan Rajadure says that despite the lifting of the ban on the use of glyphosate on the plantations, there is still nothing made available in the market. Dr. Rajadure also explained that manual weeding is only adding to the problems on the estates, as this would create the ground conditions for weed seeds to germinate. He points out that the cost of production that was at 650 rupees per kilo has now surged to 1000 rupees as fertilizer prices have increased from 30 rupees per kilo to the current price of 250 rupees per kilo.
Sports News is brought to you by...
With many values that bind us beyond the transaction, we are Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Namibia stunned Asia Cup champion Sri Lanka by 55 runs in the opening match at the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2022 in Geelong played today. Namibia ranked 14th in the world and Sri Lanka is 8th in the world. Having lost the toss, Namibia put into bat first. Namibia posted 163 for 7 in 20 overs. With 93 for 6 in 14.2 overs, Namibia were in deep trouble. Jan Frelenk and JJ Smith put on 70-run stands for the 7th wickets in just 34 balls. For Sri Lanka, Pramod Madushan Lienagamage, Mahesh Theekshana, Dushmanta Chamira, Chamika Kanaratna and Vanindu Hasaranga de Silva shared the spoils.
A special interest rate of 15% on savings certificates opened in October. Prarthana for children, Prarthana Plus for adults. NSB Prarthana, your dreams realized.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Sri Lanka Ports Authority SLPA won the Ports Authority of the Year award at the 2022 Global Port Forum Awards held in Dubai in the UAE recently. Business analysts said the appreciation in the global level is emphasized as a valuable point in marketing of the SLPA in the global and international maritime sector. They added the Global Ports Forum is committed to improve global ports and furthering the interests of the ports globally through collaborations among members of the ports ecosystem.
Business News, sponsored by...
When I grow up, I'll fly to the moon somehow.
Envision your future now. NSB Prarthana will show you the path to your dreams. This thrift month, open a savings certificate. It's a long-term investment on your future with great returns. A special interest rate of 15% on savings certificates opened in October. Prarthana for children, Prarthana Plus for adults. NSB Prarthana, your dreams realized.
Economic News, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Sri Lanka Economic Summit 2022 will be held under the theme Resetting from Turmoil to Opportunity on the 5th and 6th of December at the Shangri-La in Colombo. The summit is annually organized by the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce. The summit will focus on key levers that will lead to macroeconomic stability as well as ensure private sector-led growth to implement short and medium-term reforms. The Economic Summit will focus on domestic policies and the reform outlook for key state institutions, facilitating private sector-led growth and investment and meeting the targets of Sri Lanka's sustainable development goals.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
And now for the weather report. The Met Department says the current heavy rains are expected to continue due to the influence of the intertropical convergence zone located in the vicinity of the island. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces and in the Galla and Matra districts. It said heavy showers above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa and the central provinces and in the Galla and Matra districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur elsewhere over the island during the afternoon or night. Fairly heavy showers above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the sea areas off the coast extending from Puttalama to Matra via Colombo. Showers or thundershowers may occur at several places in the other sea areas around the island during the afternoon or night. That was the weather report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The President instructs all the district secretaries to coordinate relief work with the help of the Disaster Management Centre. A weather secretariat will be established in Sri Lanka to study weather risk situations. The police say investigations are now being carried out about the people who supported Thilini Priyamali to take money from various people. State Minister Janaka Wakkumbura says that neither the President nor the Prime Minister are hoping to delay any election. Approval has been granted for the relevant private companies to import urea fertilizer required for the Maha season. In world news, the International Waste Electronic Equipment Forum says 5.3 billion mobile phones will be thrown away this year. In sports news, Namibia stuns Asia Cup champion Sri Lanka by 55 runs. That concludes this news broadcast. You're with Radio Sri Lanka.